They're making some mistakes because, just as you described, what was happening in Georgia with them getting another woman with the same name to run against Stacey, that meant that they thought that she was not deserving, that black Stacey Abrams was not deserving, and if they just duplicate the name, somehow they would be able to overcome and they would be able to win. So we're teaching them. We're teaching them about our power. And the more we speak up, the more they're going to understand. And if they don't understand, they're jeopardizing the whole party. Because we can and will make the significant difference. But if in fact they keep making mistakes, it's going to cause the party to lose.
So this is a really good point.
Yes.
Oftentimes when we try to take on issues within the party, it's just like if you have family, there's like family business and you got to clean up the family mess sometimes. It doesn't mean that we're saying, oh, go support Trump and Republicans by holding Democrats accountable, right? We're just saying, we're going to teach you how to serve us better.
Absolutely, and I think that we cannot be thought of as people who are, disturbing, disrupting the party, and we don't understand that we've got to continue to operate in the way that we've operated in the past, or we're going to be a detriment to the party. No, the party depends on us. We make the significant difference, and if we don't go to the polls, if we don't vote, again, the party's going to be in trouble. So, no, I think you're absolutely right. At this point in time in our history, we don't have to think about being detrimental to the party. Think about the power that we have and how we've helped the party all these years and how we will continue to do that because we know that they're significantly better than this Trump party. And we will do that if they begin to appreciate us and they understand our power, embrace us and work with us. All right.
So I love what you say. You touched on voting. I think these folks in this room know the importance of voting. They're here this morning. They're engaged. The question we hear so often is, what else can we do besides voting?
Well, first of all, we've got to emphasize voting. Getting registered to vote is extremely important. We are not voting our numbers yet. In most of the states, cities, the counties, what have you. At one time we had a lot of folks saying, well, it doesn't make a difference. These parties are all the same. But I think now they can see clearly that Trump is detrimental. It has become the Trump party. It's not even the Republican party. And so we have to get registered and we have to vote so that we can make sure that our voices are heard and we can have more influence. In addition to that, I want us to use the social media. It is extremely important. I know that a lot of young people and millennials are tweeting and retweeting. They're on Facebook. You have it. But a lot of our mature people who are very capable of getting on the social media, not doing it because they think, oh, that's for them, or that's for the younger people. I am 79 years old and I tweet.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Auntie.
I want to read this while I'm looking at this last tweet. Tell me what else folks need to be doing in addition to voting, social media. When you say one of the best ways to get involved is, what do you think that is?
To show up. A lot of young people in particular think that, oh, we don't need to march, we don't need to rally, that's old time. But I want to tell you, when you show up, it makes a significant difference. We have to put a face on what we care about.
Yep.
We have to be at our school boards, we have to be in our city councils, we have to rally, we have to organize, and when the word goes out, don't wait for somebody to come and beg you to show up, just get up and go.
Yeah.
And we've started to do that as we have been dealing with this Trump administration. Don't forget, when he put on the travel ban, we all just showed up at the airport.
I did.
Nobody really called us. They got on the social media, they put the word out, and the numbers were fantastic. When the Women's March took place in Washington, D.C., with over 750,000 women, it was because women just got up and decided that they were going to go. That's the kind of attitude that you need. An attitude that says, I'm in this, and I'm a part of this, and and I'm going to be a voice in what is going on. So show up, rally, get on the social media, call your radio stations, call the television stations, tell them that you want to be on, you've got something to say. Get with the young people on the podcast and all of these avenues now that we have to communicate and we have to talk. Be active. Don't look for someone else to do it. Take the responsibility yourself and say, I'm in this fight. I'm in this fight. Those are the things I think we can do.
Stacey in her keynote talked about politics is just people getting what they want. And when I think about how our community has traditionally used politics, it hasn't been in that way. What type of shift has to occur for us to understand that this is a system that works for us? Once they're elected, whether we voted for folks or not, they're public servants. They're there to serve our needs and our interests. What do you think has to shift in our minds mentally to really understand we didn't owe anyone that vote? We did it because that was our responsibility, because this system is supposed to be working for us.
Absolutely, and one of the unfortunate things is this. After we vote so often and over the years, we then don't demand anything of our politicians. We don't write to them. We don't show up at their offices. We don't invite them to come into our neighborhoods and sit down with us and answer to us about their votes. Most of the time we don't know what they're voting for and what they're voting against. We have too many elected officials, for example, who support payday loans. Payday loans are ripping off our community. And our people don't even get to these elected officials and tell them, don't vote to support these payday lenders with these 300, 400% interest rates. We'll never get out of debt. But that's why I think it's so important for us to focus on what's going on in this administration. It's about public policy. It's about that vote. It's about the issues that are concerned to us in our community. We know that we did not have health insurance, that we could not get it, it cost too much because of pre-existing conditions. And so with Obamacare, the ACA, finally we got it into public policy, got it voted on, got it supported, and now the Trump administration is trying to undo that. And the first thing they attacked was getting rid of making sure that all of the insurance companies would cover pre-existing conditions. Who have pre-existing conditions?
Black people.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have died too long from preventable diseases. Whether you're talking about heart problems, whether you're talking about AIDS, whether you're talking about diabetes, all
high
of
blood
these
pressure,
issues
hypertension.
that we have because we didn't have access to health care. We got it covered by saying you must insure people and you can't get rid of insuring them because of pre-existing conditions. Now the Trump people are wiping that out. They want to wipe out all of Obamacare. Not only health care, but let's take a look at housing. We have a housing crisis in this country. We need more affordable housing for people who simply want a decent place for them and their families to live. And you know what Ben Carson just did in HUD? He just raised the rents on the most vulnerable people, people in public housing and with Section 8 that can't even find a place to live. People have been standing in line with Section 8 certificates for affordable housing for years. And this Trump administration is doing away with all of that. So whether you're talking about housing or health care or affirmative action, he has sent a message that they're going with Jeff Sessions. They're going to do everything they can to get rid of affirmative action. And one of the things that we must keep our eye on is this president now has the ability to appoint the next Supreme Court justice. And he's going to demand of them that they make sure that they kill efforts for women to control their own bodies, and they'll make sure that they are against affirmative action. And so it's not simply about the fact that we don't like this president. It's not simply about the fact that he has mimicked and mocked a disabled man, talked about grabbing women by their private parts, all of those dishonorable things. It's about public policy also. It's about what they stand for and who they're going to be against and who's going to suffer under this administration.
And Congresswoman, I think that's the part of this that is probably the most maddening to all of us. which is we're watching people who are trying to make this a Maxine Waters versus Donald Trump thing, and it's not personal. He makes it personal about you, right? If there are personal attacks he engages in. So to see people who are supposed to be like-minded and support similar policies to also criticize your approach, it's a little frustrating. Can you talk to us about what types of consequences are on the table for you just for speaking truth to power and for helping us remember why you are engaged in the fight that you're in? What are they talking about in Congress?
Well, first of all, let us be sure that we don't continue to allow this president to divert our attention away from these public policy issues. This president is an expert at diverting attention, at lying, at causing you to believe it's somebody else's problem. Let's not allow him to do that. Let's force him to stay on the issue and keep talking about the issue. Yes, he attacks me, says all kind of things, but hell, I've been attacked all my life. So, that doesn't bother me. That doesn't frighten me. I'm nobody's victim, and I'm not afraid of him. I'm not intimidated by him, and so I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing.